Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the Aleph Podcast. आज मेरे साथ हैं the one and only SHALLUM from, you would know him from Fuzon, as well as, you know, he might have taught you at some point. कैसे हैं आप?
Or beaten you up. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
How are you doing?
Good, yeah, good. Great, in fact, great.
Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for
And,
making me
you know,
part of your podcast.
Absolutely, you know, grew up with, saw Fuzon a bunch of times in the, I guess, heyday of 20 years ago.
Heyday of the music revolution back then.
Yeah, बिल्कुल मतलब Fuzon, EP, RO, ये सब Nuri, lots of shows happening at that time, where instruments were being played on stage, which is...
And all these bands, not just us, had like a sizable audience. I remember concerts in Karachi where I played for 8,000 people. There's a venue called the Dream World. We played for 25,000 people. Yeah,
Dream World was a resort sa
tha. And it
25,000
people. Karachi, without any problems. People came.
That's unbelievable.
Then they went.
Yeah.
It was a big, not just Karachi, Pakistan opened up.
Yeah.
It was a completely different energy in the entire country. It was not just music, but electronic television channels were coming up. People were
from the 2 channels on TV, it suddenly became hundreds.
We had 4 or 5 music channels. Imagine. When you have 5 channels, so whoever comes on that channel, if the song is relatively good, you get an audience. And there were multiple concerts, back-to-back concerts. So, great times.
So, before we get to those times, why don't we start with आपका मतलब आगाज़ कैसे हुआ, and you know, playing guitar and then eventually getting into bands and stuff.
So, as far as I remember, I've always been sort of inclined towards music or musicians or music. Bachta tha as a child, I used to get really excited. And as a child, I used to go to a Sunday school. A Sunday school is like a part of your church. जहाँ पे बच्चे जाते हैं music or hymns सीखने के लिए. And we had a pastor who was visiting from the US. He was a guitar player. And he was playing all those hymns with a lot of joy, animated. And I was like 7-8 years old. And I go, oh my God, I want to become him.
That's awesome. Taking
out the religious aspect from it. I want to play the guitar. And that inspired me. And then I started pursuing that part of learning, because I always knew. Because after finishing the set, he played a few hymns. Children got all excited. And on our way back home, and I was a little child, I started asking my friends in my neighborhood कि भाई मुझे guitar सीखना है. And then that led me to understand that there's a guy who's like next lane, lives in the next lane, and he's a good guitar player. And I started learning from an acoustic guitar. I played an acoustic guitar for at least 5 years before I switched to my very first electric guitar. So I learned.
So that would be around teenage?
So my first electric guitar came when I was like 13 years old. And by the time I was 15, I was on stage playing with like the Pakistani pop stars at that time, like Hadiqa Kiyani and Najam Sheraz, and did a lot of session work in multiple studios in Karachi.
That young?
Yep. I was probably the youngest to be a session musician in Pakistan.
That's amazing.
Ever.
And
if ever there would be a book written about music.
Well, I guess we're doing a visual form of this book.
Capturing the...
कोई ये सब podcast document करके एक book लिख सकता है.
I also remember that it was so exciting to be a musician and being accepted into studios, because you know at that age it becomes extremely fascinating that every now and then, every day in fact, I used to be asked to play an album. बेटा आओ पूरी album बजा दो. एक सिंगर है कोई पता नहीं, पूरी albums में जाके studios में बजाता था एक दिन में. बैठा होता था, खाने खा रहा होता था. And एक studio से दूसरे studio hopping.
This is the time before the internet and stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely. There was no internet.
So how do you? I mean, we're talking about pre-internet era. So how did you build up your vocabulary on the guitar to the point that you became so in demand?
So when I started learning, I started listening to all kinds of all different genres. So blues is still something that I enjoy, but at that time the teacher who was teaching me was a jazz and blues teacher. His name was Mr. Roland. He's somewhere in heaven playing for a lot of people there. So he introduced me to a lot of blues, and मैं blues बजाना शुरू हुआ. And then from one teacher to another, I went to this guitar player at that time in Karachi, one of the best. His name was Rizwan Khan. उसका बैंड होता था Final Cut. तो रिजवान ने मुझे बहुत मतलब प्रिसाइसली बैठ के सिखाया. फिर अदनान के पास में बहुत गया. तो इन लोगों ने अदनान अफाक से तो मेरी दोस्ती हो गई. फिर ही यूज्ड टू प्ले एंड आई यूज्ड टू वॉच, एंड दैट टॉट मी सो मच बिकॉज I remember something now whenever this topic comes up about me getting inspired at an early age, that when I started playing, I knew that this is it. मैं गिटार बजाता था, मुझे इतना मजा अभी भी, even after so many years, I pick it up and I enjoy it. It's something else. It's very hard to explain, and you know how it is for musicians to tell that यार how आप कैसा feel करते हैं गिटार बजा के. मैं तुम्हें नहीं बता सकता यार. So I built it up, the vocabulary and the different dimensions of being a guitar player by listening and practicing to several different forms of music. But intense practice, because I started buying a lot of guitar player magazines, क्योंकि यहाँ पे सब्सक्राइब तो नहीं कर सकते थे. जुम्मा बाजार लगता था, वहाँ से वो कटे हुए मैगजीन आते थे. उसके अंदर कहीं ना गिटार लेसन्स भी होते थे पीछे, तो वो मैं लेसन्स उठा के सुनता देखता था. Did a lot of metal music listening, man. I used to play a lot of metal songs. मैं इंस्पायर ही उससे हुआ था बहुत ज़्यादा.
What were your like top bands?
यार at that point मुझे Megadeth बहुत पसंद था, because Marty की वजह से. Marty was unbelievable guitar player. I figured out songs. उसके बाद मैंने Slayer भी बजाया बहुत ज़्यादा. फिर मुझे वो क्या नाम है उसका यार, Cemetery Gates. Pantera, man. What a guitar player. What a guitar player.
Unbelievable.
So, उसके lessons एक guitar playing magazine के थे, stretching के.
He used to have these like guest columns.
And he used to stretch like वो legato runs, and that used to inspire me a lot. Sean Lane, I don't know, so many. Like multiple guitar players. So many of them. And I still enjoy. अब सुबह walk करने जाता हूँ मैं, तो लोगों ने पता नहीं क्या म्यूजिक सुन रहे होते हैं. मैं अपना बड़ा 1 kg का हेडफोन लगाता हूँ, and I listen to my guitar players, all of them, one by one.
Nice. Awesome. So, I mean, were you listening to music more for already you were into playing guitar from a young age, so were you looking for interesting guitar music in particular, or was it there was still a consideration for the overall song? Because eventually you've been involved in some of the biggest song hits that are not necessarily known for guitar parts, you know.
So I was during that time, that period, listening to a lot of pop also, British pop. Simply Red. Wham. अपना क्या नाम है, Sting. बाद में पुलिस से Sting हुआ था. Sting pop ही कह लो उसको, pop ही कहेंगे.
उस वक्त तो यही था.
हाँ. Sting हो गया, Simply Red बहुत सुनता था. That man sings like a miracle. He's a very good singer.
And his music is deceptively complex also.
I like that music, man. I really like that music. British pop and British metal is वैसा किसी ने class है. Duran मैं बहुत सुनता था, अभी भी मुझे अच्छा लगता है Duran. Depeche Mode सब. So I was, वो भी एक side थी मेरी. I was listening to all of that. Then I was listening to like very predominantly guitar oriented music to learn that style. So songwriting and musicality was always, I think, always in me. I didn't have to work on it. I still know when I write a song how a melody should flow on a piece of chords.
And did you spend a lot of time, because there's mostly two kinds of guitar players, जैसे मैं हूँ जो practice नहीं करते, बस over time you jam and you absorb things with different people, and I'm not a very technical player anyway, but then there's people who take it as a discipline and they practice, and you seem to be कि एक ज़माने में आपने ज़रूर practice की होगी.
बहुत की थी यार. I remember we used to live very close to actually at block 2 PCHS, but then my parents got an apartment somewhere in Gulshan, and we moved, and I didn't want to move because all my friends and all my like music friends were there. But the good thing was that मुझे एक separate room मिला था वहाँ पे, और जब मुझे मिला था मैंने बंद कर दिया वो room, and I used to just practice. And my mother understood that, and no, the good thing is that मुझे इतनी ज़्यादा कोई friction बाद शुरू में बहुत मिलती थी, लेकिन when they saw that there's no turning back from where he is right now. So they used to like leave food outside, जैसे बिल्ली के लिए नहीं छोड़े थे खाना. So I used to sit, practice. I'll tell you why it's important for someone like me, is because I wanted to achieve that benchmark of being a certain kind of guitar player.
Yeah.
You don't have to practice if you're
but without practice you can't play a certain kind of guitar.
And वो अभी भी जैसे मैं कुछ दिन के लिए नहीं छोड़ देता हूँ, तो I can't play a lot of different styles and licks the way I used to play. So I still practice sometimes if I have the time. Practice. Yeah,
I mean, it's commendable to be able to give that kind of discipline to the instrument. So at what point did you form your first band?
Oh my God.
Because it seems like you were into session playing before.
band पे कोई band बना ही नहीं था. I knew at that age that if I'm just taking this path, then I will not be able to do anything else. So might as well यहाँ से ऐसी direction बनाओ कि थोड़े से पैसे आए. I can just show that okay, I'm good to my parents, because they were really concerned.
So did you like drop out of school?
Of course, not school, college dropout, big time.
Yeah.
I remember I was telling this to a friend of mine कि मेरा second year का उर्दू का एग्ज़ाम था, और उर्दू मुझे बहुत ही बुरी लगती है लिखने में. मुझे बोलना बहुत अच्छा लगता है, बड़ी खूबसूरत ज़बान है. मैंने कहा लिखना नहीं है, मैंने नहीं लिखना, बस I don't want to write this. So उर्दू का पेपर I was examination दे रहा था, and उस वक्त तो I was deep into music. And even to wear that uniform and get onto a bus to go to my
soul.
मैंने कहा what am I doing? It like each and every minute was like very, very heavy on me. It was like a big mountain of depression. And in the middle, like the first 15 minutes, I looked at the invigilator. He came to me, मैंने कहा ये ले, कहता है आप ये क्या कर रहे हैं? मैंने कहा मैं आइंदा खुद ताकि कसम यहाँ पे नहीं आऊँगा कभी भी. ये ले, this is not me. I don't know what made me do that. कोई plan नहीं था.
जूते पड़ते हैं.
It was not planned. I went to do that paper and probably progress ahead, but something just, there was like a very loud
switch off
voice inside me that get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. And to date, I have no regrets. I am so happy I did that. I'm so glad, I'm so happy that I did that.
So I mean, that was college dropout, must have been like late teens at that point.
16, 17 I think.
So we were talking about तो फिर उस got into session playing, Hadiqa, etc.
So band अपना band बनाने का मौका उस तरह से नहीं मिला. एक band था neighborhood का, मेरे दोस्त हैं बचपन के, एक लड़का हुसैन, still my friend, great friend. Hussain था एक my very old friend, Owais. So Owais and I at that point were the two metalheads in our neighborhood.
Right.
और हमें दुनिया के वो लोग बुरे लगते थे जिनको म्यूजिक मेटल नहीं पसंद. हमें
metalheads इसी तरह होते हैं.
कि यार हम बात ही नहीं करते थे हम उनसे. So we used to sit in a room, listen to all the great albums and appreciate, oh wow, look यार ये Fuzon कितनी अच्छा, ये भी 10 घंटे बजाता होगा, ये किस तरह से, two kids talking about metal music. And he then migrated, and then Hussein went into a different direction. Then I made another band with Hussein and this other guy, Faisal, who's in Canada. Then session playing took me to Immu. And from there, after many, many years of playing sessions for a lot of people, we tried a band with another singer by the name of Yusuf. It didn't work out. It was me, Immu, and Yusuf. And then eventually one fine day, I was touring with Najam, and I came back, and Immu introduced me to Shafqat, and we got together, and then we started working.
And what year is this?
This is 2001. We worked on the album. The album came out in 2003.
That seems like, for some reason, it seems like it was earlier than that. But yeah.
It was.
Because जब आया वो एकदम से
ऐसे ही हुआ है.
ऐसे it became like Fusion has been there for so long. Within the first couple of years.
So the two people in Fusion were there together as a unit, working together for many, many years, which was me and Immu.
And I guess that kind of translated
So when we decided to put the band together and put the album together, it didn't take us too much time to think what style of music we would approach and how the songs will be made, because we were doing it every day for so many other artists. Not only making their songs but composing for them also. So it was like
it's back of your hand.
Absolutely, like ab uthte the and switch on.
When you were making like Aankhon ke Saagar with Shafqat, for example, like, did you guys have that feeling andar se while making it that this is something extraordinary?
No,
it was just another song.
So the idea was to put the band together was just like वो कि मेरे अंदर से जो voices होती हैं बड़ी loud होती हैं, और and I make sure that I take it out and share it with the universe. So बड़ा मशहूर स्टूडियो है कराची में, एक ज़माने में था सोनिक. It was a record label. तो उसके वहाँ पे वो हमें हायर करते थे to play for other people. इमू को हायर करते थे, इमू मुझे हायर करता था कि 2 पैसे उसके बन जाए, उसमें से मेरे ही बन जाते थे, पॉकेट मनी आ जाती, इक्विपमेंट खरीद लेते थे. लाइफ वाज गुड. सोनिक पे बैठे हुआ मैं एक अंदर से गिटार बजा के आया, बाहर एक बेंच था, मैंने कहा इमू कब तक हम दूसरों के लिए बजाएंगे. This was, I was not even 20 years old. I was like 18, 19. I was like fed up. I got, this is bullshit. I didn't train myself to do this.
To just be a worker for someone else.
I didn't mind that because होता ये था क्योंकि हम काम करते थे तो पाकिस्तानी ब्रेन एक बड़ा एक करप्ट ब्रेन है ना, तो वो हमसे काम कराते थे सारा everything and क्रेडिट पे नाम ही नहीं डालते थे.
This is not just a Pakistani thing. I mean, because Rick Beato का आपको पता है?
नहीं पता.
You should check out his channel. Anyway, he's a producer in the US, and lately in the last 3-4 years he's become a major YouTuber, like millions of followers and stuff. But he has exposed the fact that many of the big bands that you heard in the 80s and 90s, उन्होंने बस band members क्योंकि they looked good और उनका एक image था जो भी था, तो लेबल्स ने उनको सामने किया, लेकिन एल्बम्स पे सेशन ड्रमर, सेशन गिटारिस्ट को रखा. और उनको मतलब द वे टू टेल अपेरेंटली इज इफ यू गो इनटू द थैंक यूज, सबसे पहले नाम है सेशन गिटारिस्ट का या सेशन ड्रमर का, और लेकिन क्रेडिट फॉर्मली नहीं दिया. तो ये एक सीन है म्यूजिक इंडस्ट्री,
which is quite unfortunate. So I could not digest it at that point, and well that led to the intention of creating a band, and then eventually it happened. It just happened. Everything just happened
really quickly
because it was supposed to happen, I guess.
So then it went through a number of phases, I guess. There was the Shafqat era and
the post Shafqat era. The Shafqat era was great for all of us because it was new, it was very exciting, it was vibrant. 4 or 5 songs एक साथ हमारे top, they were all उस ज़माने में क्योंकि चैनल्स होते तो चार्ट्स होते थे ना. So every song was playing. We were traveling within Pakistan, got to see most of the country. We were very lucky, blessed. God has been very kind. मतलब ऐसे शहरों में हमने जाके बजाया जो जहाँ पे लोग जाते भी नहीं हैं. हमने सिंध पूरा देखा, हमने पंजाब पूरा देखा, and frequently, and then we did a lot of concerts at the best venues all across the US and England and places like Norway and Italy.
That's amazing.
So we were quite lucky.
People dream of.
Honestly. Quite lucky. Still doing that, man.
I mean, it's still alive.
So, very lucky.
So, क्या कहते हैं, what do you think is, because you've been in this industry for so long, वही हम बात कर रहे थे कि can hardly call it an industry, but what's holding it back? Like, you know, ये question बहुत होता है, and maybe as you know, a Christian musician, you have a little different angle on it, because
it's not a little different, it's a major different.
I mean, it's a whole different. So maybe share your perspective.
So why the Pakistani music culture did not turn into an industry despite having the best acts in South Asia, talented people, because वो इकोसिस्टम हम इसलिए नहीं क्रिएट कर पाए या इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट नहीं कर पाए क्योंकि ऑल ऑफ अस ऑन अ डेली बेसिस आर फाइटिंग विद अ कल्चर व्हिच इज trying very hard not to accept this.
The Ziaism that has come in.
यार ज़िया को मरे भी पता नहीं कितने साल हो गए.
हाँ, but एक ट्रेन जो पटरी पे बैठी है उसको कोई क्वेश्चन करता ही नहीं।
मेरा जो पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है ना बड़ा फ़र्क है। मैं तो इंस्पायरी प्रीस्ट से हुआ था जो हमारे चर्च में आके गिटार बजा रहा था, और उसकी जो बीवी थी वो पियानो बजाती थी। Beautiful woman, Mrs. Coleman, missionaries from the US. She was like an exceptional piano player. So we grew up to that music. That's why music comes very naturally.
And it was considered divine.
It is like Christmas hota hai, you listen to the most beautiful carols, man. All over the world. इतनी तो music हमारे लिए तो एक कुछ और ही चीज़ है। फिर अब मैं उसको जब दूसरे एंगल से जब बढ़ाना शुरू हुआ, कराची समझ आया, माशा समझ आया, हम कहाँ रहते हैं, किस क्या है यहाँ का तौर तरीका, मुझे बड़ा माइंड को लोगों ने पीपल हैव यूज्ड पाकिस्तान और मे बी द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ रिलीजन टू डाउन प्ले म्यूजिक। अब आई एम नॉट रिलीजियस गाय एट ऑल एंड आई डोंट वांट टू डू एनी रिसर्च। जो मुझे टाइम मिलेगा ना रिसर्च मैं शायद गिटार पे कर लूँ या मैं प्रैक्टिस के लिए मैं गाना बना लूँ। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये ऐसे ही रहेगा अनफॉर्चुनेटली। इसको फाइट करने का कोई वो नहीं है।
Well, I mean, really, because it's not always been like this. Because you go back to अपने parents के time, वो metropole era and all that. एक अलग एक चीज थी।
वो भी जो metropole era था ना, उसके अंदर क्लब्स में लोग म्यूजिक बजाते थे। ओवरऑल सोसाइटी में, जो पूरा सोसाइटी में जैसे इंडिया में है, जैसे पूरी दुनिया में सोसाइटी को म्यूजिक से लगाव होता है। ये जब कोविड खत्म हुआ था तो जो ब्रिटिश प्राइम मिनिस्टर था उसकी स्पीच में उसने पहली चीज़ बोली थी कि यू कैन गो बैक टू योर कॉन्सर्ट्स। आई मीन रियली डू विल आवर प्राइम मिनिस्टर से दैट? हमें गरीब मुल्क है, हमें तो खाने के लाले पड़े हुए हैं यहाँ पे, और गरीब मुल्क के बच्चे रोड पे यहाँ पे भीख मांगते हैं। हम ये फाइट, पहले मैं बड़ा सोचता था कि यार आई विल फाइट अगेंस्ट द टाइड एंड म्यूजिक विल बिकम the best source of pleasure and excitement for each and every Pakistani, but it's not going to be like that. Unfortunately,
each and every तो
मुश्किल हो गया।
Exactly.
क्योंकि वो उनको फीड कर दिया गया है ना बहुत सारे लोगों के यार कि ये सिर्फ एंटरटेनमेंट है और ये आर्ट्स है, और काफ़ी लोग इसको करियर पाथ के लिए भी परस्यू करने में डरते हैं क्योंकि हम I'm also talking. I'm not talking about the people who don't have the exposure. People who have the exposure, people who have been abroad, not only studying but working. When they come back and if they see someone in their own close circles, like bache, taking this very difficult career path in a very very difficult country, for a musician, they will have problems.
Yeah, and I guess you can't blame them.
It's not easy. It's not easy. एक तो मेहनत करनी पड़ती है। ये वाहिद काम है जिसके अंदर यू डोंट नीड टू टेल योर आंटी और अंकल टू मेरे लिए बात कर लेना, मेरा काम हो जाए, या खुद करना
पड़ता है। You have to have some substance.
You have to spend hours and years. And how many people do you think are mentally trained to do that in this society? Nobody does that. बहुत कम लोग यहाँ पे persistent हैं, बहुत कम लोग dedicated है। अगर होते तो हम इस हालत में नहीं होते अभी। तो मेरे ख्याल से तो यार ये जो सोसाइटी है ना, इसके अंदर एक्सपेक्ट करना कि म्यूजिक का वही रोल होगा जैसे इंडिया में होता है या यूएस में होता है,
नहीं, वो तो एक अलग
नहीं होगा। वो नहीं होगा।
बट इट्स आल्सो आयरॉनिक, आई मीन कि यू नो इस पूरे जो इलाका है हमारा इंडस वैली के इर्द गिर्द का, लाइक अ लॉट ऑफ इट, एंड पहाड़ों से लेकर नीचे तक, from if you go back, we're talking about research now, but if you go back a few hundred years, इस सब एरिया में सब हिंदूज थे, और वो एक सूफी version of Islam was spread in these areas. That's why there's all these shrines, etc. all over. उसमें music plays a big role,
of course,
and now it's kind of twisted around. So it's strange. I mean, I personally think also because of the fact कि we're गरीब हैं और बहुत मसले हैं and repression है और ये सब चीज़ें, it's one of the things people can escape to.
Of course.
So they may not.
My problem is कि म्यूज़िक को सिर्फ हम इसके लिए नहीं रखना चाहते। हम चाहते हैं कि म्यूज़िक को, म्यूजिशियंस को और आर्टिस्ट को वो ही प्लेटफॉर्म मिले, वो ही रिस्पेक्ट मिले और वही अप्रिसिएशन मिले जैसे दुनिया में हर जगह मिलती है। हम इवेंचुअली जो तुमने बात की ना कि चलो जैसा भी है इन लोगों के लिए एस्केप हो जाता है, इन लोगों के लिए तो एस्केप है, हमारे लिए क्या एस्केप है भाई? हम कहाँ जाए?
हमारे लिए तो एक स्लॉग है।
हाँ, तो the fact of the matter is a city like Karachi, the sad part about Karachi versus Lahore is that हमने कराची के अंदर ही कुछ एसोसिएशन नहीं बनाई हुई. Like people, ये कराची का sad culture है. कि 5 people working in one corner, 3 people working in one corner, 5 musicians working somewhere else, 3 musicians, वो अपना नेटवर्क बना के बुढ़े हो जाते हैं. उसमें से निकलते नहीं है बाहर वो.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the idea. I mean, we'll see how far it goes. But with Aleph, to try to bring all of these people together and try to work together.
एक चीज़ मैं, so sorry to interrupt, मैं ये भी कहना चाहूँगा कि एक मैंने चीज़ नोट की है, been playing for a very long time.
Yeah.
Born and raised in this wonderful yet extremely crazy city.
Yeah.
That if you are born in, let's say, a Christian family, then people somehow feel that you will be a good musician.
It's like you know, the black people in the States, like that.
Like it's the same thing. You have to go through the shit. You have to play. You have to practice.
Yeah.
और हमें तो और भी मुश्किल होता है क्योंकि people expect कि you have to study because you know what, the world is hard and it's harsh and
it's harder for a Christian.
Absolutely, it's
Karachi.
extremely harder for a Christian and much harder for a Hindu.
Yeah.
जो reality है भाई.
It is.
तो किसी से मेरी बात हो रही थी कल, वो उस पर बड़ी बहस हो रही है आजकल कि look at India, what they are doing to the minority. Like, don't let me open my mouth. यहाँ पे रिपोर्ट नहीं होता जो इंटीरियर पंजाब में हुआ है. मतलब गांव के गांव जला दिए हैं क्रिश्चियन कम्युनिटीज़ के. लोगों को भट्टी में जिंदा जला देते थे यहाँ पे. उसी मुल्क में मैं पैदा होकर गिटार बजा रहा हूँ. come from the same background, not religious at all, but I associate with those people. I know what they practice. And मैं बजाता हूँ गिटार, मैं लोगों को खुश कर रहा होता हूँ, अपने आप को तो कर रहा होता हूँ. तो एक बड़ा एक कॉन्ट्रास्ट है. और I don't know, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक रेवोल्यूशन तो आना चाहिए, वो म्यूजिशियंस ही लेकर आएंगे. अगर उनको किसी तरह से
जान रही
सिक्योरिटी मिल जाए कि just let people say what they want to say, let them be what they want to be, and
ultimately तो यही है ना. This is what is coming through us, through me, like the, you know, your story about wanting to just run away from that exam hall.
Yep.
Like that's that inner voice. It's your
Absolutely.
inner expression जो आपके हाथों के through eventually गिटार में आ रहा है. But वही है कि हम maybe of certain kind है जो हमें गिटार appeal किया. But the point is through this music to try to, because जो era जो हम बात करते हैं early 2000s, उसमें जो through these bands and through this mass, why did it become mass popular? Because I think people related to that expression ना कि ये सब जो एक regimented चीज़ चल रही है उससे तो निकलें, कुछ और भी चीज़ें सोचें, कुछ और भी चीज़ें करें, personality बने, you know.
एक चीज़ है जो that era had channels. Now you have YouTube. Everybody has access to YouTube because everybody's got a smartphone, even in गाँव देहात. लेकिन in comparison, in those times, like 15-20 years ago, यार इतने ज़्यादा live events होते थे पूरे मुल्क में कि आपकी जो artists थे उनकी वो they used to get recognized not only by putting the songs on. Now, for example, YouTube, they used to be there in front of those audiences. Road shows हो रहे हैं, like road पे stage लगा दिया, वही setup लगा के किसी और.
I mean, I think this is also an extension of the phenomenon कि पहले you know, you would go out to see a film and now you put on Netflix.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, everything is just being boxed in. कि COVID kind of supercharged that कि घर पे बैठे कुछ भी आप कर सकते हो.
COVID भी ना देखो उमर, COVID भी recent है.
हाँ.
हमारा जो ये शटडाउन शुरू हुआ था,
टेररिज्म एंड ऑल दीस थिंग्स,
टेररिज्म शुरू हुआ. टेररिज्म के बाद वो पॉलिसी बना दी कि यू कांट हैव अ गैदरिंग फॉर मोर देन 40 पीपल. हाउ द हेल आर यू सपोज्ड टू हैव अ कॉन्सर्ट?
यू नीड अ फकिंग thing.
Absolutely. And people were not trained. So audiences even now, sometimes they don't know how to react to a performer on stage. हमारे जो पाकिस्तानी audience है ना, of a certain age bracket, who at a particular point in time did not get the exposure of live concerts because it was out of not their choice, but the society was shut at that time. So whatever experiences they have is by watching what they've seen, and then they're called to a concert. तो टाइम लगेगा. टाइम तो लगेगा. फिर बंद हो जाता है ना, यहाँ पे रमजान में बंद हो जाता है, मुहर्रम में बंद हो जाता है, तो वो खुलते खुलते टाइम लगता है.
क्योंकि फिर इतना वो पुर्जे इतने अरसे से बंद हैं, तो अब इट्स टेकिंग दैट मच मोर एफर्ट.
अभी वो लोगों को लगता है कि मुझे अब ये बताओ एक बात, रमजान में कॉन्सर्ट बंद है, जिसका घर कॉन्सर्ट में चलता है तो वो क्या करे? मतलब कोई तरीका हो यार. आपने सोचते नहीं है लोग. आई डोंट नो क्या है कि यार ठीक है भाई, जो पूरी इंडस्ट्री चलती है इससे, आप एक कॉन्सर्ट करते हैं, लाइट, साउंड, वेन्यू, खाना पीना भी.
मे बी वन ऑफ द रीजंस कि वेन्यूज नहीं है.
वेन्यू एक भी नहीं. आप इतने बड़े शहर में, इतना बड़ा मैसिवली पॉपुलेटेड से शहर है, आप एक मुझे वो वेन्यू बताएं जो म्यूजिक के लिए डिजाइन हुआ वो. 2023 man.
There's not even one.
Not even one. That shows that, what does that show?
Yeah, and meanwhile, मतलब I mean, sorry to say, but मतलब जो भी art and culture के budgets जा रहे हैं, certain places को जा रहे हैं, but उधर से उन पैसों से हो क्या रहा है, I don't really know.
यार अब क्या एक्सपेक्ट करोगे यार? पूरा एक आपका सिस्टम एक अनफॉर्चुनेटली करप्ट है. हर चीज़ में करप्शन है. तो अब हम तो नहीं बना सकते यार इतने बड़े वेन्यूज. हमें तो स्टेट फंडिंग चाहिए, हमें तो प्रोविंशियल फंडिंग चाहिए. हमें इस तरह से तो नहीं हो सकता. यू कांट मेक अ मैसिव ऑडिटोरियम, इट कॉस्ट अ लॉट ऑफ मनी.
एंड द पीपल हु have that money and are interested to spend it towards people, you know.
So I don't know. I think whatever is happening in Pakistan is phenomenal. The music scene, I'll particularly use that word, with limited resources and a lot of determination, people are doing it. They should be awarded, like given an award every morning. कि यार कर रहे हैं.
I mean, on the flip side, I look at it. I mean, maybe that's my only option to look at it this way, but you know, if I was not born in Pakistan or not Pakistani and I had the same passion, then there would be, you know, for example, मैंने studio बनाया, you know, अब England या अमेरिका में तो हज़ारों studio है, कोई nothing special that you did, it's another studio. Here, this is just a normal studio for that standard. But for here it's like wow, you know, so we can look at it that way as well. Okay, you get to be the pioneer in something, or the forerunner in something, like and you are a bunch of, like, a handful of guitar players that inspired thousands of other guitar players in, you know, in this country, you know.
I'm so happy to be that person.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't do it, तो लेगाटो ये चीज़ें कोई शायद कभी देखता ही नहीं है टीवी पे. And you, फराज भाई, और you know, there's just a few that are the guitar as a functional thing in a composition तो हर एक बजा लेता है. But to get to that level where you're, you know, shredding and doing all these other techniques,
I think we still enjoy it.
Yeah,
we enjoy the dynamics.
It's amazing. I wish I could do some of those things.
You just have to practice.
Yeah, exactly. Time nahi hai.
You have a lot of other things happening.
Yeah. But let's come to the current era. Like, you were recently here doing a rehearsal with a new band.
Yes,
you can say that you have put together.
Absolutely.
And I saw you guys live. So you've got Zara Madni on vocals.
Yes.
You have Khalid Bhai on bass, the veteran bass player. And you have a few different people that you've had.
We keep rotating people, yeah.
So when did this come about? I know you did a song with Zara years ago.
Back in the days, yeah.
So how did you guys reconnect, and how did that just rekindle?
Just one fine day out of the blue, I was walking with a very close friend of mine. I spotted Zara and a friend of ours, an old friend, Nade. After 8 years, I saw Nade se काम भी किया. Zara को मैंने 8 साल बाद देखा. I waved at her. We had some ice cream, and then we started communicating. And then one fine day, she was calling me that help me with a vocal class. I'm conducting a class. I need a musician. And I was like lying down. Sunday का दिन था. मैंने कहा भाई कौन जाए class करने यार. What a boring idea. After all these years, she's calling me for a music class. I just have to be like a musician to help her out. Then I was motivated by a friend of mine. Go. She's a good person. You can reconnect with an old friend.
Yeah.
मैं गया वहाँ पे बैठा. After 1 week, my daughter was in town. मैं अपनी बेटी को भी ले गया. मैंने कहा चलो आओ तुम्हें मैं classical सिखाता हूँ. She's like 6.5 years old. Nice. She took her She took her notepad, and she tried. The good thing that my daughter Maya, she's coming in the morning. I'm very excited to receive her at the airport. So she started. She's into arts and painting and everything. So वो सीख भी रही थी Zara से. And Zara was teaching a bunch of older kids, like 18, 19 and beyond. And she was like a little 6.5-year-old girl.
Nice.
And after that, then she proposed the idea, okay, I'm doing something at Indus and Indus Valley, and they want a concert and they need musicians, and will you guys be interested? And I go, of course. I've been waiting for an opportunity to play with live musicians, and since we've known each other for such a long time, we have a certain chemistry which can be worked on and further developed. And with Khalid being in the band, I was super excited because Khalid and I go back as far as me and Imu.
Yeah.
Like from the age of 15, I've known Khalid. So it's been a long journey.
Yeah.
Then Khalid has played in Fuzon. Khalid has toured with us, went to like different parts of the world. We have the same friend circle. And Khalid and I were playing with Najam almost every other day in the late and early teens. So we've had a lot of great experiences. So it was like a great sort of an idea to be back on stage with these guys.
Yeah.
So Indus में rehearsals शुरू की Indus Valley में, preparing their students for a big live event. That went well.
Yeah, I was there. It was nice.
You were there, yeah. So it was the beginning of something, and simultaneously I thought, okay, यार band बन गया, and I've been wanting to do something at Napa. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because that's the only auditorium जो कि जहाँ पे थोड़ा बेहतर sound आ जाता है.
हाँ, serious listeners आते हैं.
हाँ, तो मैं उनको proposal लेके गया. उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, you do the concert. Luckily we found a few supporting partners, like in terms of sponsorship, which was necessary to cover the cost.
Yeah.
And we did like a back-to-back show. एक दिन पहले इंडस में बजाया, उसका थोड़ा सा साउंड चेंज किया. Zara ने open किया. Mohammed Zubair, an exceptional singer.
Yeah, he was really good.
He was really good. So Raavi is basically me, Zara and Khalid. And we then work with multiple people, whoever is available according to whatever is needed.
So are you guys working on some new compositions as well?
So there's a composition that Zara recently made for another performance that is happening, which is on the 4th. Please come, everyone. It's at the British Council ka WOW festival ho raha at Beach Luxury. So there's a song that she composed that we want to do as a band. Then I made a song that she sang abhi thode din pehle. So I've been pushing Zara and Khalid that, and rightly so, that we want to perform live because that's food for our soul.
Absolutely.
But we also want to make sure that we start putting out material.
Yeah.
Because that's how we will be remembered.
Yeah, I mean, people will obviously see you on stage and expect to hear some of your classics, but the more new stuff you put alongside,
and new stuff is so important because it's a new day, it's a new you're not the same person.
Absolutely. I mean, this is something I feel myself ke, when you put out music that's from your heart, जो अंदर से निकलता है, you experience एक वो जो release सिर्फ उसका नाम नहीं है, वो एक actual physical चीज होती है अंदर से. Right? Like, do you feel the same? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
There's a build-up of emotion that you just let it go and then it's everyone else's.
Oh, yes. I can tell you what happened today and you will connect with that. So, we were rehearsing in my home studio and Arsal was there and we were trying to contain him. He's a drummer, very hard to contain a drummer, and I've had several experiences. And we was trying to tell him that, what, we don't have like a big PA system. I'm connecting Zara into my studio monitors and I really don't want to crack it up. But he understood. So there's a song which is which is Rag Megh, which is E minor pentatonic played with an A. So if you start E minor pentatonic with the A root note, it's Rag Megh. It's a beautiful, like when you start playing, maza aayega. It's a lot of blues, but it's a proper rag. तो एक और सिंगर भी बैठा हुआ था, उसके साथ हमने शो किया था अभी कुछ दिनों पहले, आमिर करामत अली फ्रांस में. तो मैं ऐसी मजाक में जो नहीं करते म्यूजिशियंस, में सर इजाजत है बजाऊं, क्योंकि वो उस्ताद टाइप का था. उसके सामने मुझे मेघ बजाना था अपने क्रेजी वेस्टर्न स्टाइल में. तो मेंटली आई ट्रिगर्ड, लाइक इट हैज टू बी वेरी इमोशनल. मैं जोर से वाइब्रेटो स्लाइड करके put my heart there. As I was about to approach that idea, पीछे से अरसल ने ना जोर से भदत पता नहीं क्या दबाया, ड्रम पे इतना जोर से बजाया कि इट जस्ट पुट मी ऑफ। इट वाज लाइक सो लाउड एंड आई वाज लाइक ओ माय गॉड व्हाट द हेल आर यू डूइंग, एंड आई डिडंट से इट बट आई वाज ऑल रेड, क्योंकि नया नया ना, मैंने कहा मैं I'm a senior musician. I can't just beat him up. I don't want to do that right now. He's come here to learn, or we learn together.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I feel.
एक tuning होती है as a chemistry, you know.
मैं जब भी गिटार बजाता हूँ ना, तो मैं वैसे बजाता नहीं हूँ. मैं नहीं बजाता कि यूं बजा दिया, या तो मैं नहीं बजाऊंगा. I will put everything in it. I'm a passionate guy about a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about my life. I'm passionate about my family. I'm passionate about music, which I shouldn't be telling you. I mean, this is who I am.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Otherwise, I would be...
Otherwise, why would you be doing such a difficult thing in such a difficult place?
And we've had phases, man. अभी मैं सुबह किसको बता रहा था? ज़ारा को ही बता रहा था. मैंने कहा, even now, after all these years, sometimes... मुझे कहीं पैसे देने होते हैं, मैं लुक एट माय बैंक अकाउंट में कहता ओ नहीं है, फिर कहीं ना कहीं से आ जाते हैं. सो देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ इनकंसिस्टेंसी इन दिस प्रोफेशन व्हिच आई हैड अ लॉट ऑफ आर्गुमेंट्स विद माय डॉटर्स मदर अबाउट. इट्स अ ड्रीम मदर्स. तो अब मैं पाकिस्तान जैसे मुल्क में आप उसको भी मैनेज करते हैं कि आई डू दिस, आई डू दिस, आई डू दैट, आई डू दैट, ताकि मैनेज हो जाए फाइनेंसेस. वेरी डिफिकल्ट, बिकॉज यहाँ पे एक और भी बड़ा चक्कर है. ये पैशन को तो छोड़ो, यहाँ पे लोग पैसे नहीं देते भाई. मतलब आप दुनिया के, अब यहाँ पे नील, शॉन, स्टीव वाई, यानी भी बैठा होता ना, तो वो कहते भाई बात सुनिएगा यानी भाई, वो आ रहे हैं पैसे. एंड यानी इज लाइक दिस क्रेजी म्यूजिशियन recognized all over the world. Like imagine यानी in Pakistan.
I mean it's unfortunate because वो हर step of the way हो रहा है. So even if you as a person feel bad about not giving the next person that you've hired money,
ऐसे ही होता है.
like आपको खुद पैसे नहीं मिले
यार. हमें 8-9 महीने के बाद इस तरह से मिलते हैं पैसे. And after spending so many years in this industry, उसकी पैसों की एक तो वर्थ खत्म हो जाती है. फिर आप इतना टायर्ड डाउन, बॉग डाउन हो जाते हैं, जो आपके लोग कॉल कर रहे होते हैं ना आपको कि वो शालम भाई मेरे पैसे, शालम भाई मेरे पैसे, शालम भाई मेरे पैसे. आप कहते हैं यार व्हाट द हेल. और अब बिकॉज इट इज सच अ स्मॉल सीन, आई कांट हायर अ मैनेजर टू टेक केयर और एन अकाउंटेंट टू टेक केयर ऑफ ऑल दीज फंड्स. भाई इतने पैसे नहीं बनते ना कि आप अकाउंटेंट रखें. क्या आप अब बॉग डाउन हो रहे होते हैं. एक तो यहाँ का जो एक वैसे भी एक डार्क एनर्जी इस मुल्क में है जिसको लोग एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते, लेकिन मैं कहता हूँ यहाँ पे एक डार्क एनर्जी है, बड़ी स्ट्रांग
है. बिल्कुल है. जो
जिसके बारे में कोई बात ही नहीं करता. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मुझे नजर आती है लेकिन किसी को नजर नहीं आती.
नहीं, मुझे तो डिफरेंट नजर आती.
यहाँ पे
मुझे लोग पागल कहते हैं.
नहीं, यहाँ पे सही लोग कहते नहीं, अरे वाह माशाल्लाह माशाल्लाह सूरज निकला. मैंने कहा सूरज पूरी दुनिया के लिए निकला है इस वक्त, लेकिन यहाँ पे एक फकिंग डार्क एनर्जी है. एक्सेप्ट करें, वो लोगों के अंदर से आ रही है. वो डार्कनेस लोगों के अंदर है और वो बहुत ज़्यादा है. मैं तुम्हें एक और बात बताता हूँ जो पता नहीं लोग माने या ना माने. हम अभी भी उस ट्राइबल मेंटालिटी से नहीं निकले हैं. हम बस अपने अपनों में ही रहते हैं, चाहे अपने में कोई टैलेंटेड ना भी हो, बस वो अपने ही 4-5-6 लोग हैं या वो सर्टन ग्रुप्स हैं.
I mean आज just on my Facebook I was seeing this debate happening, like someone announced a music festival in Islamabad.
I like the poster. I saw that poster.
Yeah,
it was like
and there's a bunch of acts on there, and someone else responded.
वो मुझे पोस्टर लग रहा है ऐसा था किसी ने एसेट करके वो पोस्टर डिजाइन किया, like कोई ट्रिप कर रहा है, कोई मशरूम खा के. Very trippy.
It's possible. But someone else responded who was also a musician, saying कि भाई ये वही अपने लोगों के लिए कर रहे हैं लोग, और जो भी फेस्टिवल होता है
उसको हायर नहीं किया होगा
अपने ही लोग. हाँ,
तो
और उसमें एग्जैक्टली उसमें रिस्पॉन्स भी ये आता है, खुद कर लो. मसला आपको पता है यही है कि अगर हम अपने लोगों के आगे लोगों को बुलाएं और हमारे पैसे नहीं बने तो फिर वो हमें मतलब बुरा भला कहेंगे, ये वो. लाइक इट्स डिफिकल्ट विद दिस इंडस्ट्री, विद द काइंड ऑफ बजट्स वी आर डीलिंग विद, टू एक्चुअली ओपन योरसेल्फ अप.
I have an answer for that. एक तो ये है कि इसको जिस तरह भी लोग रिसीव करें, I don't care. That be it musicians, be it artists, we come from the same land.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by that same fabric. We are the product of the same society.
Yeah.
hence that darkness will also be a part of us also.
Yeah.
Even if you try to reject it or neglect it.
I mean, you have to confront it to do anything about it. No?
तो होता ये है कि वो बात उसकी भी ठीक थी कि यार you know if I'm Shallum and if I know Umair and Arsal and Ali and you and other people, मेरी जो brain energy होगी ना वो उन्हीं को.
Yeah, and if we've all done things with each other or for each other, then we'll go and invite each other first.
The reason why this happens is because everything to date we are doing it.
Yeah.
जैसे तुम जिस नापा के कॉन्सर्ट पे आए थे उसमें सिर्फ मैंने गिटार नहीं बजाया, उसके स्क्रीन को मैंने बुक किया, बाहर जो ब्लू कलर का कारपेट तो कारपेट डाला, तो मैंने कहा था बाहर ब्लू कारपेट डालना अच्छा लगता है, मैंने कहा पूरी फेरी लाइट्स डाल देना, ठीक है, स्क्रीन पे ये चला देना, साउंड बुक कर रहा हूँ मैं, और तुम यार ये कपड़े पहन के आना. So you are doing multiple jobs, not just playing music. ये एक advantage पाकिस्तान का ये कि it makes you learn
everything.
You're not like just Steve Vai के सब गिटार बजा रहा है, पूरा एक mechanism, एक infrastructure बना हुआ है, आपने सिर्फ म्यूजिक बजाना है, ऐसा नहीं है, आप म्यूजिक तो बजाते ही नहीं है. At the end of the day, मैं ये कहता हूँ कि अगर मुझसे वो रोल्स ले लो तो मैं ज़्यादा अच्छा म्यूजिक बजाऊँ.
ये है actually, this is a key point actually, but and वही बात है ना, we live in a capitalistic and selfish kind of environment. कौन इन्वेस्ट करे अपने टाइम, और जहाँ उनको बना बनाया मार्केटिंग 1000 जॉब्स मिल रही है, वो म्यूजिक के मार्केटिंग में क्यों घुसे जब तक उनको शॉर्ट नहीं. और फिर जब you know now new boys,
पता है कब होगा, जब हम म्यूजिक को उस तरह से एलिवेट करते हैं जैसा वेस्ट में होता है.
हाँ,
आप उसको पब्लिसाइज इस तरह से करें, इट बिकम्स like people travel with bands, like पूरा entourage एक एरोस्मिथ जा रहा है तो एरोस्मिथ नहीं जा रहा, एरोस्मिथ के ग्रुपीज जा रहे हैं, एरोस्मिथ के 10,000 और लोग जा रहे हैं. You know what I mean? So you make it such a big thing, it becomes like in the news, they're talk of the town.
I mean, like a couple of weeks ago or a month ago or something, there was this show with Hassan Rahim and you know Natasha Noorani, pata nahi, a bunch of these new Taji and all these people, and the only act in among those that was playing with musicians was Natasha. बाकी सब जो हैं वो एक laptop और बस mic. तो मतलब, I mean, for me that's more like a karaoke type scene.
Of course,
right? It's not really.
Of course, that's not live music.
But if how much money some of these acts are
charging
or making, मतलब 8-10 लाख.
Following बनाई ना.
You know,
they've used the internet. They were born in that era.
Yeah. So that's it's I don't know. It's weird, and it's like ठीक है करें, but इस audience को फिर वो 3-4-5 हज़ार के टिकट्स भी बिक रहे हैं ऐसे शोज पे, बट हम करें 1000 का भी 2000 का भी करें और मुश्किल से लोग पूरे हो रहे हैं.
फैड है ना, देखो ये तो पॉपुलैरिटी है.
But it's also cyclical, this kind of thing. I mean, hopefully there will be a demand again for real musicians.
If you keep doing it.
Yeah.
The reason why I chose to invest my time and energy and experience in producing my own big and small shows is that मैं कब तक इंतजार करूँगा कि कोई मुझे ऑर्गेनाइजर फोन करे.
ये बिल्कुल ये पॉइंट आपका 100% है. Because so many musicians have just been waiting for the call.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
खुद करो.
बिल्कुल.
नहीं पैसे बनते, पहले 2 लाख बनते थे, अब 20,000 बन रहे हैं.
जो भी है, आप pull in all your resources, your contacts. At the end of the day,
when you wake up next morning, you say, fucking I did it.
Yeah.
तो अब अल्लाह का शुक्र है हमने ये अभी 2-3 चीज़ें की हैं, अभी और भी करेंगे. और बिकॉज ये मैं तो कहता हूँ जस्ट डू इट योरसेल्फ मैन. अगर मेरी किसी को जरूरत है, किस तरह से मैं हेल्प कर सकता हूँ, टेक माय इक्विपमेंट, टेक माय रिसोर्सेज.
आई थिंक दैट इज द वे, दैट इज द वे दैट वी कैन
डिजाइन समथिंग. बिकॉज एक चीज़ याद रखें सब, जो नापा के शो के स्टेज तक ना, देयर वर अ लॉट ऑफ क्रेजी थिंग्स गोइंग डाउन. ये किसी को नहीं पता. जिस दिन कॉन्सर्ट था, जिस दिन इंडस वाला का कॉन्सर्ट था, उसके अंदर रात को एक साउंड वाला बुक हो गया था, सबका जो फेवरेट है यहाँ पे, नाम नहीं लूंगा, बुरी बात होती है. रात को 2 बजे उसने मुझे फोन करके कहा, जब मैं इंडस का इवेंट करके घर जाके थका हुआ सो रहा था, कि वो शालम भाई मैं तो नहीं आ सकता. मैंने कहा व्हाट द हेल, तुमने मुझे बोला था नापा खुलवाएं अभी. कहता नहीं वो तो मैं नहीं करता. मैंने कहा तुम कौन सी ड्रग्स कर रहे हो भाई, मुझे भी दे दो. तो फिर मैंने किसी और को किया. सुबह ये वो नहीं हुआ, नापा ने कुछ कमिट किया था, उन्होंने बैकआउट कर दिया कुछ चीज़ों में से. एंड ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम I also had to figure out कि यार मैंने अच्छा बजाना है. मुझे बहुत दिनों बाद बजा रहा हूँ. अपना म्यूजिक बड़े दिनों बाद बजा रहा हूँ. तो सब कुछ खुद ही करना पड़ रहा है यहाँ पे.
खुद ही मसला शायद इसलिए अल्लामा इकबाल ने हमें समझाने की कोशिश
खुद ही करें.
But so we've done this new added this new element to our podcast where we've suggested the audience to send us some questions.
Wow.
So we put up your picture yesterday and asked for some questions. So I'm just going to grab my notes.
Do that.
And so we have some questions here from our followers and stuff. So Farhan at Club 432, he asks, who do you think is the best out of the new crop of young guitarists in Pakistan?
So Wes Khan, the guy who plays for Kashmir.
Yeah.
Arsal's brother, his name?
Mohsin.
I love Mohsin.
Mohsin
was playing one day at Kashan's studio and I was also there.
Yeah.
Mohsin और मैं jam करे तो मैंने कहा काम करो. Let me just do the chords. I want to hear you play. He's so good. I love the way he's musical.
Yeah.
Actually, मैं fan हूँ Mohsin का.
Mohsin, I really enjoy his playing.
Very cool.
So,
I really like him.
Nice. Another question here from Wahaj Aleem. What's your take on pedal boards and effects, and what do you prefer, analog pedals or digital multi-effects?
Technical question. So I would obviously prefer anything analog. But I am also a Pakistani man who has to deal with Pakistani sound systems.
Reality check, yeah.
एक तो pedal boards का ये कि how often will I use them?
Yeah.
In a live situation. So mostly what I do is I use like a very old V amp. Yeah. If I have an amp, I like drive it through an amp. And if I have a really good amp, which I do on tours, जैसे कोई technical rider हमारा जाता है तो उसके अंदर मैं एक triple rectifier मंगा लेता हूँ. तो उसका मैं gain use करता हूँ क्योंकि उसका जो distortion gain for legatos is
it's unbelievable.
क्योंकि वो harsh sound नहीं है उसका. Yeah. It doesn't have the presence that all the other amps have, and still it drives through. कि उसका जो high gain का tone है वो muffled नहीं होता.
It's very clear.
Very clear. So I would use that if I'm touring. I can't do that right here in Pakistan क्योंकि इतने gigs नहीं होते. But if you ask me, I would I would use a pedal board mostly. But I'll do both.
Depending on the situation. Then we have Talha Munir Khan asks, is it difficult to understand music coming from the newer generation? Like, can you relate to the new music coming out?
Actually, I can.
Yeah.
I can relate to it because every musician, artist, singer, performer, songwriter, guitarist, when they make music, it comes from a place of, if not love, but appreciation for themselves and their art. So and things keep changing and we should respect the change.
Yeah, I mean, growing up we used to listen to stuff from many eras before us.
इतना काम होता है यार. You write a song, there's an idea,
बहुत मेहनत जाती है.
आपका पूरा दिन है पाकिस्तान जैसी जगह पे, आप अपने आप को navigate कर रहे हो as an artist. Like I said earlier that all the musicians, young, old, they should all be given an award every morning. So I enjoy music. Yeah. Coming from, if they're using live instruments and if there are multiple people being involved in writing a song, that is what a song is for me even now.
Right, but I mean a lot of music coming out now, अभी थोड़ी देर पहले भी ये बात करते, isn't involving any musician. It's like, you know, AI generated beat or instrumentation or whatever on a laptop and ऊपर से कुछ गा दिया. Like, मुझे personally वो समझ नहीं आता ज़्यादा.
होता क्या है?
अगर कभी कभार कोई melody बड़ी अच्छी हो या कोई बात अच्छी हो.
These human beings are born in an era where everything became publicity. Like Facebook is not only a way to keep yourself connected with your friends, but it's also sort of publicizing what activities you're doing in life.
Yeah,
so is Instagram,
a way to become popular also, you know,
amongst a certain kind of people. So ये जो generation इस realm में है, उनको they just want to put out stuff.
Yeah.
In comparison to us who had to go through a certain process, there's nothing right or wrong. That was that time. Yeah. This is this time.
Yeah.
So the people who are born in this era might relate to that music because it's a short term उसका साइकिल छोटा है
ना
उन गानों का अप्रिसिएशन का.
हाँ, और आजकल बस 2 मिनट में देखो और फारिग नेक्स्ट.
हाँ, नेक्स्ट. अब जो the songs that we grew up listening to and the songs that we made and the other bands are still heard, and हमें अभी भी फर्स्ट एल्बम के गानों के gigs मिलते हैं कि okay yeah, you know, are you guys still together? Yeah we are. Where are you calling us? कॉन्सर्ट के लिए तो हम सब जुड़ जाते हैं ना, क्योंकि perks भी हैं, travel भी करना है, दूसरे मुल्क भी जा रहे हैं.
Sure, it's what you gain from having that kind of thing. We've got this guy Khan Driver asking, why can't our Pakistani guitarists be internationally recognized in Western countries?
What nice question. Why can't we be recognized? Because I think language. Urdu की market, Pakistani expatriates की जो नेटवर्किंग है, मैंने बाहर बहुत बचाया है, अमेरिका में और इंग्लैंड में, इवन प्लेसेस लाइक नॉर्वे. हमारी कम्युनिटी जो है वो एक साइजेबल अमाउंट में नहीं है और इतनी इन्फ्लुएंशियल नहीं है.
इन्फ्लुएंशियल इज मोर द रेलेवेंट टर्म.
अगर इफ यू कंपेयर इट विद द इंडियन कम्युनिटी, वो तो साइज भी बड़ा है,
साइज भी है, लेकिन इन्फ्लुएंस उससे भी बड़ा है,
उससे भी बड़ा है. अगर फर्ज करें हम ये इंडिया होता या वो पाकिस्तान होता, और इस तरह का म्यूजिक जुनून और मिकालसन और फराज अनवर और फ्यूजन, वो ये ग्रेटर इंडिया होता या वो ग्रेटर पाकिस्तान होता.
लेकिन उनके कभी इस तरह के बैंड्स ही नहीं
आए ना, उनको इस तरह की तकलीफें नहीं होती हैं जो यहाँ पे होती है. यहाँ पे
वो लाइक टू प्ले द ब्लूज.
और फिर हमारे जो बाहर मसले मसाइल कुछ और हैं. पाकिस्तान का एक इमेज बन चुका है, बड़ा गंदा है, वो अच्छा नहीं है.
Right, but that's also the kind of context where you can stand out. कि ये देखो, ये पाकिस्तान से है, ये क्या कर.
But आप जाके इमेज बनाओगे कि अपने आप को बनाओगे. आप किसी से मिलते हो बाहर अमेरिका में, you meet a person who has no idea where Pakistan is. By the way, there are a lot of people who don't know, and why the hell you want them to know? यार, they're happy in their lives. They don't want to know what's happening here. Is that country next to India?
It's in the Middle East.
Yeah, it's that country. It was India. मोरक्को में अभी गया हुआ था, तो वहाँ पे मुझे बीच पे एक लड़का लड़की हैंग आउट कर रहे थे, क्योंकि वहाँ पे कर सकते हैं, यहाँ पे नहीं कर सकते. तो वो मैंने उनको रोक लिया. मैंने कहा यार आई वांट टू गो टू अ प्लेस. तो उन्होंने मुझे बताया कहाँ जाना है. तो उनसे पूछा भाई कहाँ से आप लोग. ने कहा जी पाकिस्तान से. ओह पाकिस्तान, ओह इज दैट कंट्री नेक्स्ट टू इंडिया. ओके वाओ, नाइस नाइस नाइस. हमें लगता है कि हम बहुत पॉपुलर हैं दुनिया में, पाकिस्तानी.
I mean, compared, like I've been traveling abroad for, you know, since I was young. मुझे लगता है कि आज के दौर में maybe internet का proliferation is part of it, but compared now to 20 years ago, पहले तो कुछ पता नहीं था. अब थोड़ा बहुत
पता चल रहा है. और फिर हमने भी ना, देखो एज ए कल्चर, ये सारे काम होते हैं आपकी गवर्नमेंट के कि आपकी गवर्नमेंट कैंपेन्स चलाए. इंडिया हम जाते थे पहले, और हम जब CNN पे इनक्रेडिबल इंडिया की कैंपेन देते थे, हम कहते थे बॉम्बे इतना अच्छा नहीं है, ये तो ट्रीट किया हुआ है उन्होंने, फीजी आए,
ब्राइट किया वैसे.
हाँ, मैंने कहा ये जयपुर भी ऐसा नहीं है. लेकिन और हर प्रोग्राम के बाद इनक्रेडिबल इंडिया, इट इज़ एन इनक्रेडिबल प्लेस. मे बी नॉट राइट नाउ, पोलिटिकली इतना नहीं है, बट डाइवर्सिटी जितनी है वहाँ पे दुनिया में कहीं नहीं है. हमने ऐसा कभी नहीं किया. हम बेच क्या रहे हैं दुनिया को. आप देखें, बड़ा स्ट्रेटेजिकली हम प्लान करके बेचते हैं फियर कि ओ माय गॉड पाकिस्तान ऐसी
दूर रहो यहाँ से, भाई
यहाँ से दूर रहो. आओगे तो देखोगे रियलिटी क्या है यहाँ पे. तो आप जब जाके किसी को बताते हैं ना आप गिटार प्लेयर है, तो वो शॉक में हो जाता है कि नहीं यू मस्ट हैव गॉन हियर, तुम यूर लोकल, यूर अमेरिकन पाकिस्तानी. मैं कहा नहीं, मैंने वापस जाना, मेरा वीज़ा ख़त्म हो रहा है. तो आप ये हम कितना करेंगे. हमने जाके 3 कॉन्सर्ट कर लिए. ये तो एक कंसर्टेड एफर्ट होता है कि आप अपना एक इमेज बताएं लोगों को क्या हम क्या हैं. वो चाहता ही नहीं है कोई. आप कितना, मैं बता रहा हूँ कि आप सिंगल हैंडेडली जुनून हो गया, फैसल कबाड या बिलाल हो गया, या जो भी अभी करंट आर्टिस्ट जो टूर कर रहे हैं दुनिया में, वो बजाते हैं पाकिस्तानी एक्सपेट्रिएट कम्युनिटी के लिए. मुश्किल से इंडियंस आते हैं हमारे शोज में, बड़े मुश्किल से आते हैं. तो ये जो वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में आप किस तरह से अपने आप को, फिर या तो फिर आप अंग्रेजी म्यूजिक बजाओ, आप वहाँ पे जाके रहो. तो बड़ा एक सवाल भी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है और इसका जवाब भी इतना आसान नहीं है.
I mean, lot of factors at play. So yeah, I mean that's all the questions we had.
And that's all the energy I had.
Yeah, काफी हमने.
After having 2 tikkas.
That's now I want to Toothpicks. But it's been lovely having you
Thanks,
and
man.
discussing these
Thank
things.
you.
And I wish we had some more positive things to
No,
talk
this
about.
is all positive. This
But
is
it's
all
just,
positive. This
you
is
know,
all
it
real.
is what it is. Is what it is.
I mean, it's not all flowers and, you know,
no
unicorns.
reality check भी ज़रूरी है ना.
मतलब reality होगी तो life होगी ना.
Exactly.
Life is reality.
Exactly. But good luck with Raavi and
Thank
all
you,
your
sir. Thank you.
endeavors. और अभी हम एक गाना सुनने वाले हैं.
Please सुने और मुझे उसके ऊपर अपने
बिल्कुल.
माहिराना राय दें.
Please, if you haven't heard Shallum, please go and check out
Please do.
all of his stuff, fusion, new stuff, gigs ho rahe hain. Look him up and find out about the new gigs.
I'm also a daddy.
And his daughter is
daughter's
coming tomorrow.
I'm ironing my clothes.
And do drop your comments below on all these different issues that we've discussed. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And we'll see you next time.